Comes out your son. You burn the swine when no want you shine. The tree of life, them no want you climb, cause them heart no kind. Comes, I say them heart no kind. Buxton Massive, Kidaki, Red Hat.
Never joke, never joke, never joke. Oh, money, never money, never money, money, never money, money, I know what you can I do. Money, never money, never money, money, never money, money, you can keep your conniving money. When you've been up for a bum, in a bill tell me money. Now because your money done, you come with conniving money. When you had your pocket full, in a bill tell me money. Now because your money done, you hustle for tell me money. Yes, money, never money, never money, money, never money, money, now know what you conniving money. Neighbor joker, neighbor joker, neighbor joker. That's all the money that me walk for. A 2 pound note and a kill that piece. A 2 pound note and a kill that piece. A 2 pound note and a kill that piece. This is all the money that me walk for. I said money, neighbor, money, neighbor, money, money, neighbor, money, money. I know what you can I be money. Oh, Joseph.
Guyana and Guyanese, at home and abroad. Tune in to Guyanese Morning Time, hosted by Kadaki Amsterdam, where the sun always shines. Guyanese Morning Time, the people call it Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people call it Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again. We rise up early morning watching Tom's TV, where wisdom and knowledge, yes, it is the key. Exposing corruption over land and sea, where the wicked politician they try to trick me. Guyana is a land for everybody. With 6 races should live in harmony. There's one set of people getting oil money. There's one set of people doing the thievery. Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again. This is a program that you all can see, sharing your views and your integrity. Like it, comment and share it all around. Pass it to your neighbor, safe and sound. A sad situation going on in this town. The voice of the people is getting trampled down. Out of the mouths of babes and sucklings, which has ordained me to sing. I sing Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, fooling the people. You're promoting evil. Stop lying to the people. You are a part of the cycle. Stop fooling people. You're promoting evil. Stop lying to the people. You are a part of the cycle. I say Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese morning time. The people calling Guyanese morning time. Rhythm, Guyanese morning time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, they got Breakford, Bork and Mark Benchcop. David Hines and Kadaki Amsterdam. Sherrod Duncan, Nigel London. Normal Brown and Gavin Matthews. Big up Paslow, Port People Governor. Simona Brooms, Robin Simpson. Hampton Green and Winston Jordan. And yes, we can go right on and on. Guyanese morning time. The people calling Guyanese morning time. Rhythm, Guyanese morning time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese morning time. The people calling Guyanese morning time. Rhythm, Guyanese morning time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again.
The relatives and friends of young Wyndham Bacchus, they deserve justice. The family, the relatives and friends of our in Boston, they deserve justice. The family, the relatives and friends of Peter Headley, they deserve justice.
And so when we say that Guyana is an apartheid state, we have the evidence to show.
Hey fans, it's karaoke and oldies night this and every Thursday at Club Twilight Sideline Dam, Buxton. Dance to the magical songs of yesteryear by popular DJs and Camps Audio. Admission is free. Come out, let's make memories at Club Twilight Sideline Dam, Buxton North.
The fire burning red in a Joshua representing of a Camps Audio. Big up Kidaki, Buxton massive. Hey Babylon boy, you going like in a like Camson. Red.
You can get meat anywhere, but for the best cuts of chicken, beef, pork, mutton, and lots more, check out T&W Harris Butcher Shop, located in the East Rheinveld Market Meat Section. Call us on 609-7168, 641-4494. Ask for Rastaman. T&W Harris Butcher Shop for the best in fresh cut meats and lots more.
You're so much older and wiser, and I wait by the door like I'm just a kid. Use my best colors for your portrait. Lay the table with the fancy and I tell me now. Tell me.
Morning, neighbor, morning. Are you morning? How are you do? Morning, morning. Welcome to another program of Guyanese Morning Time. I am your host, Kidaki Amsterdam. It is 7 hours 34 on the 15th day of July in the year 2024. What up? What a guan? How are you been? Hey, morning, neighbor, morning. What guan? How you talk to me now?
Comes out your son. You burn this swine when no want you shine. The tree of life, them no want you climb, cause them heart no kind. Comes, I say them heart no kind. Buxton Massive, Kidaki, Redder.
You running this show.
Comes out your
you don't know
son.
your own
You
thing.
burn.
Good.
Before you burning red and the jazz representing if it comes audio. We got Kidaki, Buxton Massive. Hey Babylon boy, you going like in a like come son. Red.
You can get meat anywhere, but for the best cuts of chicken, beef, pork, mutton, and lots more, check out T&W Harris Butcher Shop, located in the East Rheinveld Market Meat Section. Call us on 609-7168, 641-4494. Ask for Rastaman. T&W Harris Butcher Shop for the best in fresh cut meats and lots more.
Good morning. Welcome to the program. How are you? How have you been? How was your weekend? It wasn't such a long weekend, right? It was a long one for me. I had fun all week. Whole night doing it, whole month doing it. Yes, happy birthday to me still. Happy birthday to those who are celebrating today. Yes, it's crab season, crab marching. So all those of you who are celebrating birthdays today, happy birthday to you. Tomorrow, I know there are some people who are celebrating birthday. Happy birthday to you. And then Wednesday, well, every day of the week, I got people celebrating birthday. But we have some special viewers who are celebrating this week. And so I want to wish them currently and in advance a happy birthday, birth anniversary. I do hope that you enjoy the best of everything. But especially, I hope that you will enjoy long life with good health. That is important. Everything else will come. God, the Creator's richest blessings upon you. Morning. Why do over the weekend? I make some money. Did you do anything to earn some extra income? I know the government paying you starvation wages. There's no question about that. And so you have to supplement your income. What have you done to supplement your income over this week? That's all I'm asking. Good. Let me shout out Run the Lane. Morning, Rhonda. This dashiki that I'm wearing was presented to me by Run the Lane. Maybe 2-3 years ago? I think about 2 years ago, right? So if you have, the ladies are seamstress, you know. If you have anything you want to sew, providing she's going to take your work, because she picky like that, you know, you could hit her up and talk with her about, you know, whether she's available to sew anything for you, design anything for you, sew anything for you, and cost and so on and so forth. Just honor your agreement with her, right? I remember her telling us some time ago that the lady they met, she sew one set of things and left them there from when Noah was a boy to when Noah became a great granddad. And eventually she went for them and she didn't want to pay the price and all kinds of things. Good. A lot of seamstresses and tailors encounter that kind of problem. But I'm begging you, respect the labor, respect the hustle, right? Good. So you can contact Rhonda. I'm sure she can put together something nice here. Good. What are we going to talk about this morning? We got so many things to talk about that sometimes I don't even want to talk about them. Good. This morning's topic, I said, is get moving or get out of the way. Get moving or get out the way. What am I talking about? I'm talking about a whole lot of things. A whole lot of things are stagnated in this society. Y'all didn't recognize that? A whole lot. And the people in place are not doing anything to move things along. So let's start with Claudette Singh. Claudette Singh, we need a clean voters list. And so you ought to be moving on that or get out of the way. Guyanese need a clean voters list for the next elections, which I'm predicting will be held closer to this year end. Good. I am predicting that elections will be held closer to this year end. And so we really need to get Claudette Singh and the happy bandwagoners over at Guyanese Elections Commission to get cracking, to start to put systems in place so that Guyanese can benefit from a clean and credible voters list. But from the look of things, you think Claudette going any place? No, Claudette ain't going away. Because number one, the money nice. The money nice, the perks nice. I'm not sure what her remuneration is, but I know, for example, she gets 24-hour security and driver. Nice perks. So let me don't say it, because somebody might say I got a problem with old people. Those are nice perks for a retiree. Very nice perks for a retiree. Somebody said the woman ain't got a chick nor a child, so why do we enjoying those benefits? I should really befriend Claudette, you know, instead of telling her to go home and rest. But in the national interest, I think she should leave. She doesn't have the gumption, she doesn't have the gauze, she no longer has the integrity. She no longer has the integrity. To use the terminology of Granger, She is no longer fit and proper for that position. She has been compromised and compromised and compromised. The PPP has bent Claudette in all kinds of angles. That if Claudette sees herself now, she might not even recognize who the real Claudette is. We need to have Claudette Singh gone. We need a chairman of the Guyana Elections Commission that has spine, gumption, gall, that can be an independent decision maker, not to be influenced by political threats, etc. She is the holder of a constitutional office, and constitutional officers are protected by the Constitution. And they should not allow themselves to be manipulated by the goons in political office. I don't care which side of the table the goons come from. She should not, or constitutional officers are not to allow themselves to be manipulated by goons in political office. It is time Granny goes home. It's time Claudette go. Y'all help her to understand that. How will she understand that? She will understand it if we give her sleepless nights and restless days. You hear the thing? Sleepless nights and restless days. How do you give somebody sleepless nights and restless days? Where are all of the opposition supporters who understood the importance of a candlelight vigil years ago? Where? I'm sure somebody knows where Claudette Singh lives. I tell you truthfully, I don't know where the woman lives. But I'm sure she lives somewhere. She doesn't live on the moon or on Mars. So why can't a group of opposition supporters organize a candlelight vigil in front of Claudette Singh daily, nightly? And we shall go and we shall sing Sankeys and so on and so forth. That's how you give somebody sleepless nights. I don't know there is any law that stops you from standing on the roadside with candles at nights, singing lusciously. So can't we host some candlelight vigils in front of Claudette Singh? Or in close proximity to where Claudette Singh lives? No, Annette Cummings is coming with the technicality. How can Claudette Singh be a granny when she doesn't have a chick nor a child? The word granny is used, I perhaps want to call it an endearing term, to elderly women. And so all I'm saying is that Claudette is an elder, and she should naturally warm and rest herself. Good? Yeah, so I'm suggesting that some of our opposition folks need to start hosting candlelight vigils in front of where Claudette lives. And so while some people are doing candlelight vigils at nights in front of where Claudette lives, others should give her restless days. The protest needs to be widened in front of GCOM. We need bigger protests in front of GCOM. Why are we going there? Why are we holding bigger protests in front of GCOM? because of course, unless GCOM is pushed, they will not move to make any effort for us to get biometrics and a clean voters list. Is biometrics important to us? Is a clean voters list important to us? Yes, both of them are. If you really want a fair chance for everybody who is contesting the election, I think those two things are of utmost importance. Utmost importance. Because if you have a clean voters list, whatever degree of cleanliness it has, without a second tier of protection for the sanctity of the vote and so on, the possibility is the PPP can still corrupt the election. Possibility is they will still corrupt the election. But if you have a clean voters list to whatever degree of cleanliness and biometrics, then you have what they call it on social media. Two-tier authentication or something like that. The voter gets authenticated twice because the voters list is there to say, yeah, this is the person. And then the biometrics will recognize or not recognize the person. Okay? So we must step up this fight. We must step up the fight for those two things. They go hand in hand. It can't be one without the other. I see somebody saying, if Asian Jones is saying, if the PPP doesn't want biometrics, it is not going to happen. It is one of the flaws of this democracy we got in this country, or one of the flaws of this thing we call democracy in this country. Citizens sit back and say, if the PPP doesn't want it, it will not happen. Who or what is the PPP, man? Who or what is the PPP? I grew up hearing majority rules. In a democracy, especially, majority rules. Does the PPP represent the majority in this country? The PPP as a government, is that the majority of this country? Them 65 or how many persons they got in the PPP cabinet and government? Are they representative of the majority? Do they constitute the majority? Are you saying to me that if Guyanese take to the streets and demand the biometrics, the PPP will not be forced to consider it? Is that what we're saying? Or we're simply comforting our laziness by convincing ourselves that, hey, if the PPP want it, we ain't gonna get it? I am saying that if there are enough persons out there, if there is a large enough number, out there demanding biometrics, then biometrics it shall be. Remington Clark, are you addressing me? Please be specific. I would like to know if you're addressing me so I can do likewise. address you, right? I see Antonio Sebastian is saying, ask Nigel about majority. Antonio Sebastian, I'm giving you your first warning. If you ain't bringing anything to this discussion, I will ask you to leave. Because I've demonstrated before that there was nothing wrong, absolutely nothing, with Nigel's observations. Except that, of course, when justice is for sale, and Uncle Sam said, do it, or we're going to revoke your visa, it gets done. Good? So let's continue. I like when some people speak on the program, but I like them to be specific so I can understand what they're saying. Stop wasting our time. Christako Prasad. What do you mean by that? Of course, what do you mean by that? Stop wasting our time. So I'm saying, sometimes I get the impression people come up with all kinds of theories because with those theories, they become comfortable in themselves. If the PPP want biometrics, we can't get no biometrics. So what are we fighting for? We're fighting to make the people on the PPP understand that they ain't running things. The citizens running things. Look what went on in Kenya. Look what went on in Kenya. Ruto dismissed his entire cabinet, I think. Why? Because the youths of that country, decided that they're going to wage war or battle, whatever you want to call it, against Ruto's policies, against Ruto's failure to honor promises that he made to them. And a war they waged. They took over the parliament. And the police and military and so on recognized that they had a just cause. And they were acting constitutionally. And so in the first instance, while I guess out of reaction, they killed a couple of protesters and so on. It didn't happen a second time. And so the demands of the people had to be respected by Ruto. I laughed because one of the first person he fired, I think was his Minister of Security, if there's a Attorney General kind of thing. And I laughed. I said Ruto is sacrificing people to save his own ass. In other words, let me try to appease the situation by giving them one of whom they think aggravated them. Because obviously that was the person responsible for the police and so on. And since the police and so on killed a couple of protesters and so on, must go. Let me throw this one to them. Appease the situation, they will relax. No, they didn't. They didn't. They didn't. They kept the pressure on. And so go and check now and you will see how many persons, right? Ruto sent home. As I'm saying, all in the effort to save his own ass. I want to believe ultimately he too will go. I believe ultimately he too will go. But the Kenyans have demonstrated that democracy says majority rules and majority ruled. As they got here on the ropes. In Guyana, we are talking about what the minority doesn't want. And if the minority doesn't want it, the majority can't get it. That is some bundle of trash. Backwardness, if I want to call it that. It should be the other way around. What the majority wants, the majority should get. And so I want somebody to convince me that the majority of the citizens don't want to see a clean voters list. And the majority of the citizens don't want to see biometrics. And if you can't convince yourself that you don't want to see that, then accept that you have a responsibility. To come out there, go out there and make struggle for what you want as a number among the majority. Don't tell me that what the PPP as a minority doesn't want, we won't get. Tell me that you are willing to join the struggle so that we as a majority will get what we want. I see somebody is asking if we don't have any brave 20-year-old soldier that is willing to wage this struggle. Is that what the person said? I understand where that is coming from. I guess the person is referring to the Trump situation. It is alleged that 20-year-old lick shot at Trump. I say it is alleged. Because like they say, I've been there. But listening to all of the analyses, the things sound like a good setup, a good Hollywood movie. I mean, dead man tell no tales. People dead already, so they can't say nothing. We don't necessarily need a soldier or anybody, as a matter of fact, to pick up arms. We don't need an armed struggle or arms struggle to get biometrics and get a clean voters list. We don't need it. What we need is activism from the people. That's what we need. That is what we need. And so we have to help the people to understand that is not what the PPP wants. Antonio Sebastian, I say, y'all don't pay me enough to educate y'all. Right? Respect my community service. If you come asking questions, you know, in the different committees of management and so on, you usually sometimes have an ex officio member who's not allowed to vote. They ain't got voting rights and they ain't got speaking rights. Antonio Sebastian, I see you as one of those. We only accommodating you. You ain't got no right coming here and ask questions. No right. Your brilliant minds, your smart minds are over at TBN, or is it? TDN or whatever. TBN. And Guyana Times and TVG 28. Go ask Ravi Dev and them, man. Don't come asking me. But in the interest of your learning, which I really am not responsible for, I will tell you this. I am saying that a cabal of thieves and criminals that make up the PPP Miranda said, please lift her skirt. No, Miranda, I'm not that indecent. The cabal of thieves and criminals over the PPP. Cannot be, and is not more than the citizens of this country. Alan, something? That is what I'm saying, Antonio Sebastian. That's all I'm saying. That the cabal, the clique, the criminal group, the cartel, the corrupt bunch known as the PPP is in no way a majority of the Guyanese citizens and can be a majority of the Guyanese citizens. And so the majority of the Guyanese citizens are saying, we need a clean voters list, we need biometric because that will guarantee or give us a higher chance of having a free, fair, and credible election. That's all I'm saying. But Sebastian is waiting to say, their majority, they win the government. They in government, that makes them a majority. They were installed. They were the beneficiaries of regime change. And even if they had won the election fairly and squarely, they still do not represent a majority in this country. You must be able to differentiate between a government that is representative of the people and the people themselves. Selected leaders can't be the majority. They are just that, selected leaders. The majority in any nation would be the citizens. And if the citizens say, well, hey, we want biometrics and we want a clean voters list, that is what the citizens ought to get. Because they are instructing their representatives in the National Assembly and in the constitutional offices. And in a democracy, what is expected that their representatives will take those instructions. And I am saying the Guyanese majority right now are saying that, hey, this needs to be fixed. Otherwise, elections are a farce. Or the elections will be farcical. Miranda said I told her or it or him or him, whatever, not to comment on the program. You see why they said they're intellectually lazy over there? I said, don't bring your nonsensical comments to this program. So unless all you have to contribute is nonsensical comments, logic should take place. But y'all are not logical reasoners anyhow. Huh? Good. So I'm saying that let's not talk about what the PPP wants. Let us talk about what the citizens want and what the citizens deserve, what this nation deserves. And that is a clean voters list and biometrics for credible elections. See, Eileen Lee, I'm tempted to block you because you're not incensed to this discussion. I just said the PPP were installed. The PPP are beneficiaries of regime change. And if you can't understand that, get to the back of the class or come to the front and stay quiet. Understand that? Now, what's the majority? Let's reason. Let me just be hypothetical. If it is, even if it is, the PPP were elected by a majority, won the election by a majority. Which group of right-thinking citizens, any part across the world, would want to retain a group of thieves as their government, a group of corrupted and corruptors as their government? Yes, Arlene, if I say so, it doesn't mean it is so, but the evidence is there to support so. Huh? Even if they were elected, let's be hypothetical, even if they were elected, who would want a corrupt bunch to continue in government? Who would? If you hire a competent manager, or who you perceive to be a competent manager, to manage and operate your business, and then 3 years down the line, contract is coming up for renewal. Contract is coming up for renewal. His or her contract is coming up for renewal, employment contract. And 3 or 4 years down the line, 2 years down the line, you recognize this person is a kleptocrat. This person is stealing from my business. This person is stealing from my business. Will you, despite the fact that you consider them competent when you hire them, will you renew their contract? Will you renew that contract? I won't. I certainly wouldn't. Is there evidence that the PPP is a corrupt bunch? Is there evidence that the PPP are stealing? You see why it has cost? Miranda's comment. You can't compare apples and oranges, just you can't compare an elections and a master-servant contract. Government or governance in a democracy is a freaking master-servant contract. It is just that, a master-servant contract. The politicians are supposed to be servants of the people. Yeah, like paint Africa's backward. Look at what is happening in Burkina Faso. Traoré say, well, hey, we gonna govern, but we are servants of the people. We gonna work for the people. Nobody ain't driving SUV. Drive your own vehicle and come to work. We ain't buying SUVs. We buying farming implements and so on, so that we can produce food for the people. Elections were due, I think, already July, because he was in considered a caretaker president and so on. The citizens took to the streets and said, hey, throw that thing aside, you stay there. Throw that thing aside. We want no election. Elections haven't worked for us. Right now, you doing our bidding. You are our servant. You appear to be doing what servants are expected to do. You're following the instruction. You know the script and you're following it. Stay there. So Burkina Faso, despite the fact you're going to say Traoré become president because Chukwu and all of that, is more democratic in its behavior. It's more a master-servant relationship than we got in this country with this stinking thieving cabal named the PPP. But when they like some Miranda open the mouth, you know, what they say, your mouth, your words or your mouth something and defile you. Can't remember. It is a master-servant relationship. Your politicians are supposed to be servants to the people. But in this backward country of ours, I dare call it backward. The equation is reversed. The people are servants to the politicians. That's not how it should be. That is not how it should be. And so the question stands, if you find this person you considered competent 4 years ago, you hire them based on that perceived competence, and then you find them stealing. Otto Martin for truth. You find them stealing. Will you renew their contract? Absolutely not. At least not in my book. I gotta be the daftest of human beings to renew that contract. And so the Guyanese people are saying no. The Guyanese people are saying no. In order that we get the opportunity to decide fairly and squarely whether we want to renew that contract with this thieving bunch, we want biometrics and we want a clean voters list. We want biometrics and we want a clean voters list. And if that cabal, that small clique, is not going to listen to us, we will take to the streets, we will make the demand, and we're going to make people have sleepless nights and restless days. That's all I'm saying. Is there evidence that we got a big thieving cabal? Yeah, we got evidence that there's a big thieving cabal. You want the evidence? The PPP like to present the evidence. They got something called circumstantial evidence. And I didn't know the other terminology, but evidence that you could, you know, they're right in front of you. Karan Jainaran say, you don't have shit. I say, Karan Jainaran, you don't have a brain. Right? Let me tell you about evidence. Let me start with the obvious. The great Uncle Sam, because you have to treat Uncle Sam like the God that you are worshiping. The US has published information that says, hey, the PPP is representative in government. The PPP's representatives in government, we have found them to be guilty of corruption. May Thomas, it is alleged, let me say this for you in case you already know. It is alleged his luncheon child. I'm saying it is alleged that his luncheon's daughter. So you understand, if it is true, the anointing that she has in the PPP. She ain't no fly by night, she ain't no just come, she ain't no ordinary PPP wheeler dealer. She is anointed to the Blanchard bloodline. So understand, May Thomas. A member of the PPP Central Committee, big decision-making body of the PPP. She is a member or was a member of that body. The US has said that that PPP bigwig, functioning in government as a permanent secretary, was involved in corruption to the tune of costing Guyanese in 1 year $50 million US. Is that the figure they said? I think so. Exhibit number 1. The same reporter said that there are other government officials who have been complicit and involved in these corrupt practices. The same reporter said agencies of the state under the PPP are also complicit and have been involved in those corrupt practices. Y'all trust everything everything the US say, y'all believe in the US. The PPP argues that since the US said the elections were legitimate, they are legitimate. So with the same logical reasoning, if the US say that the PPP government officials are corrupt, then they are corrupt. Are you following me? And so there's exhibit number 1 to 10 perhaps, because you know all the intricacies of that report. Exhibit number 2. An agency of state, in fact, a very important agency of state, the Ghana Police Force, for which the PPP, obviously, as government has oversight, has been identified as a nest of corruption under the PPP. If you got your general manager that you hire based on competence, and down the line you realize that he is managing your business, but section heads or supervisors, mid-level managers have been running amok with your resources. And he is too blind, it is too blind to recognize that they are running amok with your resources and deal with them condignly. Will you rehire that incompetent? I won't. I won't. So in the last week we heard, as a matter of fact, Butas has proceeded on leave, I understand, according to Posto and other knowledgeables in policing and police standing orders and so on, in breach of the public service rules for leave, annualized leave, and in breach of the Police Service Commission's rules for annualized leave. But Butas has proceeded on leave. It's a joke. Don't come here to twist my thoughts and change this discussion. Trump is the least thing on my mind right now. There's a problem. I like throw red herring. I ain't a straight cat nor dog. I want red herring. Stay focused, people. So Brutus has proceeded and leave, contrary to the standing orders and so on, but Brutus has proceeded and leave. Why did he proceed and leave? Because he has serious allegations. I have to say serious allegations because it protects me by saying serious allegations, but there is also evidence to support those serious allegations. That if he was the administrator of the Ghana Police Force, Brutus breached the anti-money laundering and countering of financial, countering of financing terrorists act, with the attempt to deposit 16.5, 16.2, 16 point whatever the number $1 million into the credit union. There are also allegations, and I say to y'all again, I got the evidence to that. Right? Of this man who was seeing the police operations, and his wife is a supplier, his mother-in-law is a supplier. He got registered business, they got registered business, and all of that. Nepotism, conflict of interest, insider trading, you name it. All of this is overlooked by the PPP. The PPP is in charge. Tons and tons of Guyanese gold and other natural resources are being smuggled out of this country, and the country is getting nothing for it. The US reports have confirmed that. So what else do we want as a people? When your most senior law enforcement officer or your two most senior law enforcement officers could be pulled in by the federal authorities in the US for questioning about crimes conducted while they're representing the people of Ghana, what else can you want? When your Minister of Natural Resources, remember the corruption report said gold, it identified gold as one of the things. And your Minister of Natural Resources, not so long ago, was allegedly pulled in by the federal authorities for questioning. God knows in relation to what. My logical thinking will tell me, Tarangina Ryan is who you calling a lying donkey by? Yeah? Let me get this jackass out here. Because the lying donkey them line up in the stable at Freedom House. And the lying donkey them, they all across this country champion in the cause of the PPP, despite the fact that they're recognizing that the PPP shafting them left, right, and center and telling them, shut your mouth and bury your chief. I got a friend when I said bury chief, y'all forgive me this morning. You say bury chief is so anti-man. That is what they like to carry them be. Anti-man because they like bury the chief. Meaning the bury chief business. So when your topmost law enforcement officers could be pulled in and questioned in relation to crimes, they are middle-level managers. You are keep the general manager and incompetent like the PPP. Even assuming that you hire them based on perceived competence, you now know that they are incompetent as hell. The natural resource man, I said. Now, if the man who's responsible for overlooking your resources in this business, let me say from the general manager, the next middle-level manager that is important to your business is your finance manager. And see Vikram Bharat as your finance manager. And if your finance manager is causing leakages of your resources, then your business is going to run bankrupt eventually. You want to rehire them incompetence? So what more evidence you want to see? Somebody asking the nonsense. Who said that the PPP, did the US say the PPP government corrupt? Americans talk about reading the tea leaves. I say read between the lines. You don't always read and get the message, get the answer on the line. There's some things that are called implied messages. Implied messages. When you have people in government that cannot travel to certain destinations freely, you must ask yourself, why? What have frightened them? And in this instance, all of us know what is frightening the big business in the PPP who will not set a foot out of this country to go to the United States of America is the fact that they know that their names have been called and continue to be called in a long list of corrupt transactions and relationships inimical to the well-being of the people of this country. Will you want to rehire them? I'm saying no. The majority of the citizens of this country, even if hypothetically they were hired by the majority of the citizens of this country, the majority of the citizens of this country seeing the abuse of office taking place will not want to retire those incompetent brutes and brats. And what is the surest way of firing them? The surest way of firing them is through an electoral process. A free, fair, and credible electoral process. What will guarantee or what will lay the bedrock for a free, fair, and credible election process? Clean voters list and biometrics to start with. That is the bedrock. If you want the bedrock, thief man come show you the evidence that you're a thief. It is a wrong thing that the police do, but it has beat confession out of thief man. You got to do things to get this thief in cabal to do what you want them to do. Give people sleepless nights and restless days. The numbers in front of GCOM must increase and increase exponentially. I know the meaning of exponentially. You just know it's a big word. That means enough times over. The crowd has to go in front of GCOM daily. In my book, the time for once a week protests is gone. Gobadan, shit coming out your brain. Goodbye. The numbers have to go in front of GCOM daily. Find where Claudette Singh lives and host candlelight vigils. Understand what I'm saying? That is the answer. To get people moving or get them out of the way. That is the answer to get people moving or get them out of the way. An exponential increase of citizens in front of GCON demanding public servant in a private residence, girl, I said, is in them same private residence that sit and concoct oppressive measures against the citizens. I said, ministers in a private residence, they're servants of the people. They're guests of the people. And we must turn up where they live and make them uncomfortable because we are being made uncomfortable in our homes. Look at the people at Joanna, what the place name? Joanna? Or wherever. Yeah? You got to put the fear of God in them. That's my point. If you can't speak to them in public offices and make them take your instructions, then make them uncomfortable at homes. I said, I have no apologies to that. These so-called public servants in private homes make me uncomfortable in my private home when it's blackout 24/7. When I can't get garbage disposal services. When in the middle of the city, the potholes big like a jail. But I said big old a jail. Those public servants in the comfort of their homes, they make the citizens of this country uncomfortable. Why should we leave them to be comfortable in their homes? There's a problem. Them public servants, commissioner this and commissioner that, chairman of this commission, chairman of that commission, they live off the perks of the people. Minister this and minister that and permanent secretary this and that, they live off the perks of the people. They live in air-conditioned homes. Usually the streets where they have to traverse from home to work, their neighborhood, even if it's one street in their neighborhood where they live, they're well kept. They don't get garbage disposal problem. Candles, you're asking about Sebastian? I'd buy a whole container load. I would buy a whole container load so long as we're ready to do it. Show me your numbers and I'll bring you the candles. Traverse around Georgetown, day or night. I was saying to a friend not so long ago, one of these nights I have to take my time and drive through Georgetown, drive around Georgetown, because that is when you get to see the state of the city, because it's not congested at night, so you get to see all the faults. Big Ole Jill at the junction of King Street, no, not King Street, there's a cathedral side. Now, I passed it, but I didn't stop there. Big Ole Jill at the junction of Regent and Avenue of the Republic. It is an eyesore. Imagine they also big they could fit a pallet inside standing up. To say to people, look what Ejil big old day, be careful. Ejil, close up your hole, no man. It's an embarrassment. Or you could expose such a big hole in an oil producing economy in the capital city. Ejil, at the junction of Camp Street and Church Street, Camp and Church, right in front, right in the vicinity, go invest there by the traffic light. It's an eyesore. Fix your hole, no man. Cover up your hole. Cover up your dignity. I'm sure there are lots of other holes. As a matter of fact, big hole at jail. So for us on the East Coast Highway, that would be the Southern Carriageway. God, a song like I know geography. Somewhere between Buxton and Georgetown, I can't remember the exact location. They got a big hole in the road. There's a major thoroughfare. You have to be paying attention to the major thoroughfare and not only fare picking. Fix it. That is what governments are hired to do. Cover up your holes. They are posing a danger to the citizens of this country. They are a source of embarrassment for you and your government. And by extension, the citizens of this country. We don't want to be exposed and embarrassed by your indecency. Cover your holes. The lines are open. 6225933 is the number to call. And let me tell you something. Those of you over at Banks DH, I don't take it lightly when I have to address private sector business. Because they say private sector is the wheel of growth in any country. But any private sector business that is paying scant regard to the safety of its products for citizens, its consumers, I got a problem with. Banks DH got it coming. I've been calling Banks DH switchboard number for the last week. The whole of last week I've been calling the number. I've been trying all kinds of extension and nobody has been answering me. And so if any Banks DH worker, representative, friend there on this business, this line here, shareholder, you all tell Banks DH. Call Mr. Amsterdam. Give them the number 6225933. Call Mr. Amsterdam and find out what is his goals. Because tomorrow morning I'm going to talk about it. And I know it is going to have a serious impact on the business. Yes, it is going to affect the business because Cam's TV got following, they got listeners, and they know that when Mr. Amsterdam talk, you don't talk stupidness. I'm going to fix your business. I cannot understand a company doing business in this country. Nobody can pick up a freaking telephone to answer a call. It shows scant regard for the consumers. Since last year, they can't produce adequately to satisfy the local market. My information is Banks DH doesn't have any export market, and they can't supply the local market. And worse yet, they can't supply the local market with products that people can be comfortable in, knowing that it is hygienic. Watch yourself, it's coming tomorrow morning. Call me before the end of the day. It's a demand. Call your life.
Morning, Kadaki, and morning, Guyana. I've been consistently asking, especially African Guyanese, is what it is they think will happen for the 23 years that the racist mafia, corrupt PPP, been in power. And what would we expect them to be in the next coming years, even this 4 years that they're in power? And to me, it seems like we are satisfied with the status quo. You have called for demonstrations and other things in front of GCOM. We've got 8 people there. You called for us to go out there for education. Now you're calling for protest action against climate change. And it just seems like it falls on deaf ears. And we've got lots of blame to go around. But, and I believe on how it is in Guyana, is that it starts from the head. Leadership and the opposition party simply have failed us. With all the corrupting that's going on, we don't hear from leaders. We don't hear, at least, I mean, David has been doing a great job. We don't hear from Mr. Norton about all the stuff that's going on. I think there's a lot of ammunition out there. But it just seems, as folks have said, they're asleep at the wheel. What about the public accounts committee? Have we heard anything from German Figueroa for any length of time? I mean, there's so much going on. Is that the ammunition is there, but we refuse to do anything? I mean, there's no way. Country of less than 1 million people, and you could only get 8 people, 10 people in front of GCOM. The concern is that we are scared, we can't do nothing. So if that's the case, then expect the next 23 and 27 years to be the same. So it's frustrating to me to know all of the corruptness, and we just sit down there and take it. And I'm disgusted and fed up each day with the inactivity, and especially, and I will call it out, Mr. Norton and the rest of his gang in Parliament. And that's my take.
Thank you for your call. The lines remain open. 622-5933 is the number to the Guyanese Morning Time. I got a voice note. Natasha, good morning, y'all. Thank you for that happy birthday wish. And thank all of you for wishing me happy birthday. Your messages were so many. I did say that I think it would be impossible to respond to every individual one. And so let me reiterate, I am extremely grateful for all of your messages of well wishes and good tidings.
Good morning, Mr. Amsterdam and listeners. Top secret. It is alleged that this senator from New Jersey, that the federal investigating, the FBI investigating he and his wife with regards to bribery and corruption, is the same person that this regime does have lobbying for them in America. Now, he's getting squeezed and he is spilling the beans. He's spilling the beans to the whole regime, the whole lot of them in trouble right now. From the time they put the foot on American soil, they're going to collect them. One by one, they're going to be collecting them. Anytime they put the foot there. And a lot of sanction is coming. A lot of sanction going to be coming down sooner or later. I got this information from top source. Ciao, later.
Thank you for sharing. Voice note. There's no honor among thieves. Always remember that. I'm going to bargain for the lesser sentence. As they say, I'm going to become tongue witness or state witness because I'm going to get a lighter sentence, a slap on the wrist perhaps. Right? Save yourself and let your brothers go straight.
Karaki, pleasant and good morning to you and your listeners. Looking at the TV over the weekend and saw Dr. Irfan Ali, I think it's either the West, the Marara, he and some of his supporters was moving around in this black African community. And when you look at the behavior of Irfan Ali, behaving like he so love black people. Almost every black person he meet, putting his hands around them and touching them up like, well, you know, he's so in love with Africans. And when you look at the economical ladder, black people are in the bottom. So that is a clear indication that the man is not real. And listening to Bharat Jagdeo in his press conference, he trying to play Pontius Pilate like he so is a saint. But what I want him to know, that true evidence do lie, is man does lie. You have a good one.
Thank you for your call. The call say the voice note say it shows that if an ally is not real, it shows that black people are real. It shows that black people are real. Why black people taking photo opportunities with the oppressors? I mean, we're nice. We like being nice. We like being nice. But don't we recognize the time when we ought not to be nice? Can't we recognize with all of the teachings that these people are using us for photo opportunities? And say, hey, stand back. I don't want a picture with you. I respect you. You're a human being, but I don't want a picture with you. You could talk to me, I can talk to you, but I don't want no picture with you. We have to stop being used as pawns. A lot of us have to stop ourselves from being used as pawns. The man real. The man knows his real mission. We need to recognize what is ours and stand by our guns. And they're going to take it literal. Mr. Amsterdam talking about guns because it dunce. Call it like. Hello. Hi. One girl, how you do? Morning. Are you morning? Morning, welcome to another program of Guyanese Morning Tme. How are you doing? How are you been? What up? How was your last night? How is your this morning? How was your yesterday? What happened yesterday that gave you hope? Did you earn? Were you given value for your labor? Fair value, I should say. Have you seen any indication that you will be given fair value for your labor? Or are you still in doubt that this corrupt and criminal cabal will do what is right for the citizens of this country? I got my doubts. Old people said that I got custom sucking egg. They ain't gonna change that. The PPP is a set of egg suckers. So they ain't gonna change in that. But the artful thing is, and that is why the artful thing is, not only is the PPP a set of ex-suckers, a set of thieves and criminals in government, but a lot of their supporters are a set of dunderheads, them dunce. Amanzo Walton disease said they're intellectually lazy. I taking it to an extreme. Some of them ain't even got intellect. Like this one named Budu. When you hear some people who claim to represent the PPP, who are supporters of the PPP, talk in defense of the PPP, you want to know where these people brain there? Were they made upside down? Are they talking through their anuses, and using the brain for excretory purposes? Y'all tell me. Because the amount of ignorance I hear some people talk ever so often defending the PPP, it's just aggravating. I just wake up good in the morning, full of energy, feeling nice and kind and loving because that's the kind of person I am. Jovial and so on. And as soon as I come before this computer screen, people just change my mind. They don't change my mind, they just change my mood or my thought processes, and I just feel like cuss out. And by now, y'all know when I cussing is a good Buxton bagas, I cuss y'all gonna get. So I know what Budu come, as the boy said, Budu mother should have swallowed. We would not have had to deal with this imbecile early morning. What did the country get? Will not get, let me give you right language. I can put it on the screen for you. What did the country got when Apni was in power? Even if people smuggling gold out of the country, look what they're doing for the country. And PPP always have to take the country out of bankruptcy, always. So why you people want to go back in power for? To run it back in the gut again? You people have the worst track records. Ghana cannot afford another day with the PNC. You people are waste and racist people too. Now this Dons, this imbecile can't even string a sentence together that make proper sense. Addressing us as you people. Well, let me tell you people who supporting the PPP that you people are a set of brainless, I can't call you human beings. Y'all are some brainless life forms. Even if people smuggling gold out of the country, look what they're doing for the country. That is the state of mind of the PPP leaders and their followers. It's okay to thief. It's okay to thief, yes. Even if people smuggling gold out of the country, look what they're doing to the country. They're robbing the country of revenue. Revenue which can be used to improve the lives and livelihood of the citizens of this country. 50 million in a year, US dollars, is not no chicken feed money. It could buy enough beds at the public hospital so that pregnant mothers and other patients don't have to sleep two on a bed. It could buy CT scan machinery, etc. Imaging machinery, even if you know what it means. I use imaging because it takes into consideration CT scan and X-ray and everything. It could buy enough imaging machinery, so that patients don't have to wait a long period of time to get CT scans and X-rays done, or run to the private institutions to pay an arm and a leg. It could fix them big holes that Edgel got around the country. So even if people smuggling gold out of the country, look what they are doing to the country. They're making the country poorer. They're pauperizing us. If 50 million US per year could go to the coffers of the nation, maybe, just maybe, the government can afford to say, let us not charge Guyanese time and a half in duties for them old vehicle that they're bringing in this country. Then Guyanese gotta go and buy a 40-year and a 10-year and a 15-year-old vehicle For example, $600,000 to buy it in Japan and ship it to Guyana. And then when it reached Guyana, they got to pay $800,000 in duties. Maybe if people stop smuggling gold out of the country and the government collects their rightful share of taxes, Guyanese wouldn't have to pay more than what they buy, more than what they paid for the vehicle in duties, especially as an old vehicle. Let me remind you, Guyana is a vehicle dump yard. Guyana is a vehicle dump yard. All the garbage from Japan and so on, they bring it and they use it for 2 months and then it dumped by the wayside. I'll ask him why they got so many accidents and so on in this country. Because Guyanese are driving old vehicles, vehicles that have mechanical issues and fail on the road, vehicles that have had to be modified, front cut and back cut and side cut and top cut and all kind of cuts. So that people can acquire a vehicle which has become a necessity in this society and every society, quite frankly, because commuting is important. And so dunce like Edward Buru can't understand that because he is brainless like Ali and Jagdeo and the rest of them. When the Granger administration say, hey, we don't want such old vehicles in this country, you could bring vehicles by, I can't remember the age of the vehicle, maybe 10 years. And we don't want used tires in here. You must use new tires because they guarantee more safety. And they're longer lasting anyhow. The PPP friends and cronies who are dealers in garbage, like used tires and old vehicles, kick up a stink, and the PPP kick up a stink. And as soon as the PPP went back into office, what the PPP did? Return Guyanese to settling for garbage tire, used tires, garbage vehicle, 14 and 50-year-old vehicle. Just maybe. If crashes like Edward Buru were to take a different look at what smuggling does to a country, you're going to understand differently. And we might get somewhere. Now, what bankruptcy is this dunderhead talking about? What bankruptcy? When the coalition left office, it didn't leave the coffers empty. It did not. Go and check the budget that the PPP presented immediately after going to office and see where it was financed from. But you don't know to do that, Edward Buru. And they won't teach you to do that. Because if they teach you to do that, then you're going to get some sense. And you're going to come to recognize there was no bankruptcy when the coalition left government. But if you look at the depth of DEPTH of indebtedness, the depth of indebtedness of this nation right now, you will understand who is bankrupting this country. It all looks nice and shiny right now. But when you look down the line, where your children and their children will have to repay the debts that the PPP is creating for this country, then you're going to understand, Don Saint Edward Buru, who is bankrupting this country. The PPP is using, I would say, future income from the oil industry. They guarantee loans here, there, and everywhere. They're borrowing from every Tom, Dick, Harry, and John. Even John and Harry, mother and mother-in-law and grandmama. And so the national debt is rising. But the dunce like Edward Buru can't see that. And it is not appearing so because what? Every 2 mornings, they run to the Consolidated Fund, the Natural Resources Fund, and they withdraw hundreds of millions of US dollars. And they prop up this and they prop up that to make it look as though everything is nice and shiny. But take for an example, an allegation of sitting ministers of government having contracts with the government through their surrogates. It is alleged that Mustafa, for example, through his surrogates, including his childhood children, allegedly 3 construction companies fleecing the Guyanese people in not getting value for money. I recently learned that the tender board or the National Procurement Commission, whatever they call it, is at wrath with the Ministry of Finance because there are several ministers of government who have hundreds of billions, if not trillions of dollars tied up. In the name of contracts which they are not executing. Let me explain it to you, Dunson, Edward Boodoo, and your friends. When one bids for a contract and wins it, there's something that's called mobilization. The mobilization amount is usually about 10%, at least 10% of the contract sum. The layman calls it an advance before the work starts. And so these criminal ministers and their friends, when they win the contracts, they collect the mobilization, which has now accumulated to hundreds of millions or billions of dollars, trillions perhaps. But they are not executing the contracts. And so because of that, the Ministry of Finance is now saying to the National Procurement Commission, or what tender board as we call them, we are not in a position to release mobilization to contractors. Some contractors who are genuinely in need of the mobilization and who has a history of genuinely executing their contracts, they can't get mobilization. And so contracts are not being executed. That is what corruption does to this country, Edward Boodoo. So when you're talking about bankruptcy, you are intellectually bankrupt because you don't even understand an iota of what you're talking about. You don't understand nothing. They just give you a script. And even the script you can't produce properly or reproduce properly. Because look at this. Maybe for standard writing that you got here. You people are a set of criminals and nothing will change. And so that is the main reason, the only simple reason, if you ask me, why the Guyanese should get the PPP out of office. Look at the long list of PPP operatives whose names are being called every day in corruption. It is alleged that Mustafa and his son had their visas revoked. It is alleged that his son went to the US to buy a Range Rover and a yacht. Many of these people were piss poor 4 years ago. As poor people used to say, they ain't even got a pot to piss in 4 years ago. But today they could go and buy a yacht and Range Rover. And this jackass, Edward Boodoo, talking about who bankrupting country. Guyana has been known as the most corrupt country in this hemisphere. Every time the PPP takes power, it takes that title. Every time the PPP takes power, it takes that title. But like I said, many of the supporters of the PPP, they're not only intellectually lazy, they're intellectually bankrupt. They're brainless. I remember when we were going to school and somebody body and say, you got time with you, man, that pass through one is and got through the other. We say yes. Because nothing is in the middle there to stop it. There's the PPP people there. They got nothing in the middle there. Many of them are comatose. And so they come to these programs in the mornings to talk stupidness. And I come to this program in the mornings to address them and their stupidness. And you know what has been the awful thing? When I don't address them and their ancestors, I just block them. Edward Boudou, good riddance of bad garbage. Tata, crass. Morning, are you morning? It's 7 hours 57. It's 3 minutes to the 8 o'clock hour on the 16th day of July in the year 2024. I wonder which PPP representative is as fluent as I am. What are I wonder which one from Efanali right down to Jagdio to right down to Ravida. Which one is so fluent? I wonder which one of them could code switch like I do. You have to be competent. You got to be able to manage your business, handle your business. I don't come here early morning to harass people. I got the plaster so you are sore. Morning, are you morning? I tell you all, you almost don't to talk. Don't stay quiet. Akwesi and Annie, why you always want to take me down these roads? You're the timekeeper now? Yeah? In the mood, you know, you could get a good boxing back there and say, using. You're the timekeeper? Listen. Put your money where your mouth there. Look the cash up there. $ KAMS TV. Put your money where your mouth there. If you ain't putting your money where your mouth there, don't tell me nothing about time, man. You understand what I said? Good. Let's proceed with this program. Let's proceed with regular programming. I tell you all already, you must learn to speak up. They say, closed mouths don't get fed. Closed mouths don't get fed. If you don't talk up, nobody knows where you're hurting. Nobody will attend to your hurts. Okay? Thank you to the viewer yesterday, whoever the viewer is. Cash App again, let me remind you, Akwesi and Nani is $ KAMS TV. If you don't want the Cash App, I can give you the Zelle. Let me put it up for you. Because I say who pays the piper calls the tune, but let me tell you something. Nobody ain't calling me tune. You can pay the piper, but don't call this tune. Good. The Zelle is 862-373-5187 in the name of Yoet Downer. 862-373-5187 Yoet Downer. That's my business voice. Do I sound like an executive? Hey, Yaga. What are those? Somebody said the shades dark. Like can't penetrate the shades. Let's talk. In the business of talking, we talk. I was saying thank you to the viewer who reached out to the people at BUXTONIAN and told them, hey, y'all call Mr. Amsterdam. He don't bluff. If he say he gonna do it, he gonna do it. And when he say he gonna do it, he gonna do it. So you best call it quick. Good. Approximately 45 minutes or an hour, once I got off of the program yesterday. I don't remember the official title, but the customer complaints officer, let me call it that, if that's the correct thing, reached out to me. And he said that someone who was viewing the program heard my quote-unquote instructions, and it was relayed to him, and he was reaching out to me to find out what the issue was. Of course, I related the issue, which I will not relate to you, since there has been an undertaking to right the wrong. And when I say right the wrong, my hope is that the wrong will be righted for all customers of BUXTONIAN, and not only Mr. Kidaki Amsterdam. You see, big companies got a way of addressing the issues of the people who make nice. But then the people who don't make nice suffer in their silence. We don't want that to happen. Right? So I'm expecting recompense. I'm expecting the company to make efforts to right the wrongs identified, and so that we can be happy as Guyanese, proud to continue to support our local beverage giant, feeling safe consuming the products. So I'll be watching and I'll be waiting. And I'm telling y'all again, closed mouths don't get fed. Closed mouths don't get fed. If you don't open your mouth to speak about what bothers you, nobody will know. And nobody will make an effort to fix it. It's not a small thing. Don't think it as a small thing. Understand that? Because it is small things which accumulate and become big things. And then when they're too big, they're gigantic, they're enormous, they're ginormous. It becomes too difficult a task to get them fixed. If it aggravates you as a little thing, imagine what will happen when it gets larger. Start addressing the issues when they are yet small. If from the word go, when Guyanese first heard of the sanctions against the Mohammeds and May Thomas, Guyanese are taken to the streets in an anti-corruption march. Maybe, just maybe, all of those criminals and their friends that are sitting in government would have taken a step back and say, hey, this thing looks dangerous. Don't let us go down that road anymore. Are you hearing me? Don't wait until the thing till the thing get too big and then you can't manage it. And it strangle you and kill you. You know what I'm talking about? Guyanese walking around daily with a goatee around them named PPP. And the goatee gets so big and heavy that they're frightened to cut it. Because they believe it's going to do harm to them if they cut it. I saw somebody this morning talking about if you assemble in front of Claudette Singh's home to do a candlelight vigil, the PPP will call it an unlawful assembly. Who cares what the PPP calls it? Who cares what the PPP calls it? What I care about is whether or not you're prepared to stand your ground. And I say yesterday, I don't come here with your doubt mouth behavior. Rastaman said fire upon the doubt mouth. Come here with positive energies. Be like the little engine. I know I can. I know I can. I know I can. We can bring the PPP to their knees by lawful protest. We need guns. We don't have to have guns. We don't have to have a violent revolution. We don't have to shed an ounce of blood. Leave that to the state. Let the state use their coercive arms, the police and the Guyanese Defense Force and their goons in the many security paramilitary groups that they got around this country. Let them use those and shed our blood if they dare to. We don't have to shed an ounce of blood to bring these people to their knees. What we have to do is demand the bedrock of our democracy. Demand a clean voters list, demand biometrics. And anybody who stands in the way of those things, let us give them sleepless nights and restless days. Sleepless nights and restless days. The police usually say they can't do nothing to a man who in a private vehicle play music loud. Is that noise nuisance? Because noise nuisance, you have to be at a what is the word? Statutory position. The noise has to be consistent. And so who say you gotta be in one place making noise all the time to keep people awake? A car could be driving around the area, making a certain noise like they do on Sheriff Street, because the police can't do anything about it on Sheriff Street with Lisa's bar and so on and so forth. So why can't we have vehicles just driving through these areas where these criminals live and just ensure that they don't sleep at night? Why can't we? I'm saying again, we have to find novel ways of protest. Like a casual window shopping day down Regent Street. The last time I said it, they arrested me. They arrested me for cybercrime. Y'all remember? It was in the same week when I said we need to have a window shopping day down Regent Street. And maybe I said it one time too many, and they decided, because the business friends and cronies call them and say, yeah, they what am I talking about? Coming down Regent Street. I will get him to stop it. And they send the doormats, the house slaves, the political polices. Hear that word, polices. The political police. The ton squads to arrest Mr. Amsterdam for cybercrime. If I'm willing to take all the pressures that they're bringing on me, and I ain't shutting them out, what happened to y'all, man? Yeah? Answer me. Y'all talk to me. Are you ready to go window shopping? Y'all inbox me 6225933. If I see enough persons willing to go window shopping, I'll arrange it. Are you ready to go candlelight parading? If you are ready, inbox me. Let me go. I didn't ask you anything about Norton. Why y'all always bringing up Norton? We're talking about us. This Rasta and the Naibingi squad. We're wrong with you. Where y'all talking with Norton for? Who got time with Norton? According to Dr. Hines, he told me that in the days of Walter Rodney used to say, I don't judge people. Every man knows his ability, his capacity. Let every man work according to his capacity. If a man could lift a pong, he lift a pong. He pong won't contribute to the struggle in some way or other. If not, I'm too big for protest, left Norton. Those of us who have the energy for protest, let us do the thing. So what y'all want me to do? We gonna go window shopping a day? Inbox me and tell me if the number's right, we gonna go window shopping. Y'all want to do candlelight vigil? If the number's right, we gonna go candlelighting. How many of you are ready to go in front of GCOM next Tuesday? Inbox me. I'm going in front of GCOM with 10 persons. I respect the energies of those 10 persons and 12 persons. They've been there long and consistent. Big up Rwanda and the rest. Take note. I took the first step in front of GCOM. Call it a step of faith. Rwanda was there when I took this step. Emily Durant was there when I took this step. And a number of other people were there when I took this step. Many of those people are still out there. So the seed was planted. I planted the seed. Let us watch it grow now. Come, it's time for regeneration. It's time for replanting. Come, who ready? Who ready? I could do Tuesday next. All those of you who are ready to come with me on Tuesday, hit me up. Let me know. If the number's big enough for going. Otherwise, I ain't going. I'm being very frank. I want to be no general without an army. You have proved to me that I got an army. Let's go. Let's go. I have to go to I have to go to court on the 23rd. But you think they're going to stand in the way of me going in front of GCOM? Oh, shoot. Next Tuesday is the 23rd. I hope not. But hey, yes, next Tuesday is the 23rd. But hear me. After court, because I think it's a morning case, we're going in front of GCOM if the numbers are large enough. Because the fact is, if elections are going to be called close to the end of the year, and I say close to the end of the year because it can be before year end or shortly after year end, we have to start making stringent demands. We got to up the ante to get what we want. We can't wait till late. That's why I started it years ago. Hit me up. We got 3 options. We could window shop, we could candlelight, and we could GCOM. Then champagne, girl, I tell you something. The thing with me is, I don't care what they do, you know. They can't break me. And this is what you have to understand. And that is why protests should not have leaders. Protests should have activists and protesters or whatever you want to call it. Because when they remove one person from the scene, the others must be adamant enough to stay there and continue to chant the same chants. Are you understanding me? So if they got Mr. Amsterdam said that we go in front of GCOM next Tuesday, if they got Mr. Amsterdam in court all day, there must still be the presence of all those persons who would have been with Mr. Amsterdam in front of GCOM. In front of GCOM. So don't worry if they're going to keep me in court all day. What I am concerned about is who will be in front of GCOM on Tuesday. With or without Mr. Amsterdam, who will be in front of GCOM on Tuesday? I'm saying let's build the numbers. Let us build the numbers. Let us build the numbers. As soon as I out of court, I'm going to be in front of GCOM. But y'all got to show me the numbers, like I say. It's not one man show. Or, y'all want to run a stamp set up there? Come in front of the court. Citizens have a right to protest any part of the country to say that they are dissatisfied with what is happening in front of the country. The judiciary has a right to uphold the laws of the country. And so when you got corrupt officials, demands can be made that they be drawn before the courts for trial for their corruption. So if you want protest in front of GCOM, protest in front of the court. If you want to go in front of the court, let me do a candlelight vigil. If you want to do candlelight vigil, let me go window shopping. There's so many options. There got some people who might prefer GCOM, go at GCOM. There got some people who might prefer the court, go at the court. There got some people who might prefer Regent Street, go Regent Street. And there got some people who like the nightlife, do candlelight. Don't let the authorities dictate how you struggle, because if they could dictate you struggle, it means they're in charge. If they could dictate how you struggle, they're in charge. Show them that they don't have control of what's going to happen in this country. Do like the Gen Zs in Kenya. Yesterday say, I like that, but Africa backward and this and that. Look at what the Gen Zs have done in Kenya. They make Ruto dismiss his entire cabinet. They make Ruto withdraw the particular financial bill that was going to bring hardship on the people of Kenya. You know what was they tell Ruto? Get rid of the IMF from this country. Get rid of the IMF and I think IDB from this country. Get them out. It's a joke. Speak for yourself. Note Dr. Hines said, according to you, because I didn't hear it, according to you, it's a joke. Dr. Hines said he is backing Niger. Never said the WPA is backing Niger. Speak for yourself. When the WPA is ready to say who it is backing, it will make that announcement in the name of the WPA. Until you hear Dr. Hines say the WPA is backing Nigeria or the WPA is backing Arbery, allow Dr. Hines to, it's freedom of speech because he's entitled to it. Understand that? Good picnic. We have to take a stand. We have to set the pace. You know them man in the street that says set the pace. So I was telling you about the Gen Zs in Kenya. They say, hey, we ain't got time with you, Ruto. Get rid of the cabinet for save yourself. Blink. Cabinet gone. Hey, the bill that you passed in the National Assembly, I'm in favor of it. Blink. The bill gone. What they say now? We don't want to see the IMF. They say Bonham described them as something to do with international model and something else. We don't want to see the IMF. They're part of the oppression. They must leave. That is the power of the people. Gaining at Gen Zs, gaining at a whole set of black, well, no, I want to say black, gaining at a whole set of young people in University of Guyana campus and Teen campus and Government Technical Institute and GITC and in school and all of that. Gaining agencies, yeah. Can they take inspiration? Or they don't pay enough attention? Is there no inspiration around for them? I want to pelt a stone this morning, but boy, I want to pelt a stone this morning. I'm going to pelt a stone, you know. I want to pelt a stone this morning. I really want to pelt a stone this morning. Young people in the churches, because somebody young people them in the dance hall, but young people are not in the churches. Do we have any religious leaders in politics, mainstream politics that is? Yeah, can inspire the young people. Let me phrase the statement. Do we have any young religious leader or leaders in mainstream politics? Can't you inspire the young people? Don't you have the ear of the young people? Come on, man. We could do better. I used to sit when I was at the University of Guyana. In fact, every educational institution I was in, they will tell you. Politics was always a part of my day. Politics was always a part of my day in any educational institution. Any classroom you find me in, check any of my classmates and they can tell you. Politics was always a part of the day. I made good friends and great enemies in classrooms discussing politics. You mean we don't do these things in classrooms anymore? There is no awareness? Yeah, give me a chance. I remember as I'm talking, I wonder where this one, the big at Boston. This is what we used to call him. Boston! I can't remember the man's first name. But the man was a part of the Black Cross Police. He and I went to Crystal together. And once Boston came into the classroom, Boston know that he coming under attack from this BUXTONIAN because I would tell him to his face. You are a set of murderers and thieves, and you are disrespecting the Guyanese people. You are a set of advantage takers. I wonder where Boston. I want to believe Boston is one of them that run out the country when things get hot. Good. I went to University again and they had a couple of police in the class and I used to give them hell too. Not because I don't like police, but I don't like advantage takers. You mean if you tell me there ain't nobody who could inspire the young people on and off of campus to take an example from what is happening in Kenya? Closed mouths don't get fed. You all want to talk. It is 25 minutes past the 8 o'clock hour on the 16th day of July in the year 2024. I am your host, Kiraki Amsterdam. Welcome to the Guyanese Morning Time. The cash app is $KAMSTV, especially Akwesi Anani, the man who wants to be the timekeeper for this program. Lead by example. Good. When I see a name, I'm going to call it. Yeah. Yes, here we go. I am about to tell you, share some information with you. GCOM in paying for that, but it's my civic duty. It's my civic duty. Right? And as I'm talking about that, Jonan Downer, send me a real photograph, man. I'm gonna tell him where I want it. I know if it's you there in the DP, send me true and correct image of yourself. Yeah. Ooh, it's Jonan Downer birthday. Jonan, happy birthday, you all you do. Jonan Downer, happy birthday, girl. How you do? Yeah, I know yesterday was Robin Simon birthday, you know. Morning, Robin, happy birthday. It was yesterday or the day before today. As I said, me no make you. Happy birthday to all those of you who are celebrating your birthday anniversaries today and tomorrow and the rest of the month. You crabs are marching. Happy marching. Good. I wish you all the best. I wish you success, long life, good health, and above everything else, the Creator's richest blessings. Good. I was about to tell you now. I'm sharing some information with you about GCOM. Now, the claims and objections period on the 2nd of July. Right? The claims and objection period started on the 2nd of July. I'm not too sure. I can't tell you for a fact when it is going to end, but my encouragement usually is to get it done earlier rather than later. Right? If you do it earlier rather than later, then there is no rush, as old people say, like hot needle burning thread. So it started on the 2nd. It means that it is 14 days in, 2 weeks have been completed as of today, perhaps the 16th. Maybe by the end of the month, they will close it and go to another phase of something. So you have, I would say, another 14 days perhaps to get your claims and objections done. Now, what is claims and objections really? The claims and objection period is that period when you can go and you can make minor and major, right? Minor and major changes. Now, I want to see who's Joan. Where's that, Joan? I should show them you. Or it's for my eyes only. Yes, we're talking. Where you can go and make minor and major changes. In that, if you have a claim, let's say your date of birth is wrong on your ID card, you can go and have that change. If you want to change your address, you can go and have that change. In some instances, if they got you looking like an alien and you're not an alien, you can go and have your photograph redone and stuff like that. Good? Claims. Objections. If you know that Harilal Banduram died 10 years ago and he's still on the voters list, you can go and make a claim that, hey, this is a dead man, you got to get him off the voters list. But it's not done that easily. You have to get the... I'm understanding that the objections phase ends July 22nd. Oh, shoot, and claims ended yesterday. See what we're talking about? What I said, $1 short and a day late. But I'm sure they will reopen these things. I'm sure they will have to, especially if the demands are high. And so if the demands are high, they will have to reopen it. So if you got claims, just turn up for make claims. And you got objections, turn up for make objections. They're going to tell you, but be closed off. But they're going to take a note. And so eventually they're going to report to the higher ups. You know the one, the people who are on that is CEO. And the commission will be forced or faced with making a decision whether to extend the period or not. Right? So don't lose hope if you didn't catch it. But ensure you catch it the next time around. Good. So objections. Tolerant Banduram dead 10 years ago, but he's still on the voters list. You see it on the preliminary list of electors, the PLE. Because they have published the PLEs, hopefully they're supposed to be around the places at maybe what used to be the usual polling stations and so on. So the preliminary list of electors are posted around the place. Check them. You and your neighborhood, you know. Check and see all the dead people on them, for example. And if you don't have the resources or the time or the know-how to object to those dead people on the list, send information to your party. Right? Send the information to your party. And your party then has a responsibility of acting. Because your party can actually send in a whole long list of objections to GCOM and say, these are the things that we found not to be right and we would like to have them fixed. Right? But there has to be supporting documents. You can't get no dead man off the voters list unless you present his death certificate. Right? Unless you present his death certificate, he ain't coming off no list. And so that is the burden. Let me call it the burden of proof. That is a burden that they put on the citizens. The citizens can't just go and make an objection that Banduram to the Ram dead 10 years ago and he shouldn't be on the list and make GCOM investigate that. GCOM is investigating nothing unless you present the evidence. Now, if I'm just a villager and I know Banduram to the Ram died 10 years ago, that doesn't mean that I have access to his death certificate. That doesn't mean that I can apply for his death certificate and get a copy. So where am I going to get the evidence? Can I present a photograph of his funeral or a live video? Because nowadays it's live. I'm sure the laws have not been changed to allow you to present a live of the funeral of Banduram Tolaram to get him off of the voters list. So as I usually say, to get the dead off of the voters list is like getting a camel to pass through the needle of an eye. Because you hear what they put on you. If you want to get Banduram Tolaram off the voters list because he has died, you got to provide the evidence. And that evidence in this instance is his death certificate. And knowing the PPP and their friends, and even the PNC and their friends, any supporter of any political party, they're not going to give you any information to get any possible dead supporter off the list. Because in these days of corrupted elections, they will calculate by sometimes you can get for user dead man for another vote. The PPP did a lot of that in the 2020 elections. I sat in those recount stations and I saw the evidence of that. We know that they're dead. We perhaps weren't able to get them off of the list because we didn't get the death certificates and so on. But we see that the dead voted. But I'm encouraging you, check the preliminary list of electors in your area. Identify the anomalies, all the dead people. Identify the names of people that they say live in your area that don't live in your area, because that too is possible, because they're taking a lot of the Venezuelans and they're putting them in voting districts. And you people who live in those districts will know whether or not these people exist there. Start doing your work. Let us start laying the foundation to get this corrupt and criminal cabal out of government through elections, free, fair, and credible elections. The lines are open. 6225933 is the number to call. And let's give Akwesi and Annie a big up. The man put him money where he mouth there. Where you money then up? Yeah. And Nani put him money where him out there. Where you money there? I ask y'all if you want to see the birthday girl for today. Joanne. Joanne, you want to see a girl? Or this is our secret. Call it live. Good morning. Call it live. Good morning. Caller, you're live. Good morning. This one is ready for us. 6225933 is the number to call you. I tune to the Guyanese Morning Time. It is 8 hours 36 on the 16th day of July in the year 2024. Caller,
Hello, good morning.
you're live. Good morning.
Can you hear me?
Yes, loudly and clearly.
Okay, good morning to you and all my black brothers and sisters in Guyana. I missed Mr. David's show last night, but I read the comments just now. Let's not God say the same. It not surprised me what Mr. David said. Why?
Flash Gordon. Flash Gordon. Flash Gordon.
Yes.
Stop.
Yes.
I constantly say to viewers, right?
Yes.
You must take people's comments in context. If you did not hear Dr. Hines and you don't know the context in which you were speaking, and you're just hearing what this person is saying, because I know what this person says is contradictory and controversial, be careful of your comments. You might be wrong.
Okay, all right. But let me move on to something else.
Right ahead.
Flash, always from day one, months and months, encourage my black brother and sister who live abroad and have green card to come home and vote if you want to help your black brother and sister in Guyana and help Adinan for take them out of poverty and high cost living. Mr. David never said, well, yes, I agree, Flat Garden. Number one. Number two, I believe it was last week, I hear Mr. David say loud and clear, I am encouraged all Guyanese abroad who got green cards to come home and vote. Don't cut me off yet. I'm getting somewhere. Because I don't want people to call my black people them fools and use them, abuse them, and then refuse them, and then they go blame PNC. These couple weeks, Mr. David program is for Niger Jews. Where are we heading to? For the Kodiman victory? We got to stop making our people confused. Flat God, I don't like to see my black brother and sister confused. My grandmother teach me, stay with who you know, than to go with somebody who you know. A little piece of mark when Nigel you said about cash grant, my goodness. You're talking about cash grant now when you're out of office? When your party AFC was in office, nobody represents WPA. That I want to say, look, guys to mathematics, all household can receive $5,000. Where was Nigel Hughes? Where was AFC? To call for black people, rally behind me. Let the government coalition pass a law. Nobody pay black man, no. Pay the black brother, no mind. But today Nigel Hughes said, vote for me, and I will give you cash grant. Nonsense. Black people in Guyana, remember Jim Jones. Remember Jim Jones, please. Remember Jim Jones. We have to be careful today how we put in our vote. The time we talking about this nonsense, encourage people to go, register, and get their card. That is more important. It would not surprise me. That is why my grandmother encouraged me to go and study the Word of God. Because that will let you know nothing must surprise you in this world. It will not surprise me. WPA will merge with AFC. No, we're not surprised like that. That's life. That is part of politics and politics. But I'm calling on all PNC members. I have to like Flat Garden. I'm a mother. Get 25 votes for PNC. I will do the right thing. Don't get caught up today. Don't get caught up today. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your call.
Tomorrow.
You see, if Flash had listened to Dr. Hines' program last night, you would have also heard Dr. Hines saying there is no benefit in beating up on Aubrey Norton or beating up on Nigel Hughes. Because when we don't beat them up and bloody them up, when it comes to election, is one out of the two of them, we got to sell to the world anyhow. So when you don't cover them in mud, you got a job to bathe the mud off of them. I'm saying that now. You got a job to bathe the mud off of them, then dress them up, and then present them and say, this is the newly anointed. Why y'all don't stop? Yeah? Why y'all don't stop? Call your line.
Yeah, good morning, Kadaki, and happy birthday to the birthday girl today.
Oh yeah, look at her smiling face. You see her? That is what 50 looks like. It's just a fleeting glimpse y'all gonna get. Goodbye.
Okay. All right.
Go ahead.
Lovely. Yes. You see the thing with Dr. Hines has his program, and I've asked him many times to have a call in, because when people listen to Dr. Hines coming and vent their frustrations or whatever on your program, because Dr. Hines is not opening his program so that people could lay their comments at his program. So that's a call coming now. Now, me, I watching the flow. You know, adults protest every day. The thing that you spoke about cars and the age of the cars, I had that on the list to talk about, but you spoke about it and it was well said. Now with Norton, look at the members of the PPPC who are being pulled in on a daily basis, whether they are in Guyana or out of Guyana. They are being pulled in because they have a lot of criminal activities. I bet your bottom dollar the rapists wouldn't be leaving Guyana to go anywhere, because they know that his business is still at the UN and they will pick him up. Now that is why they threw that alleged rape snare at Norton, so that when Norton leave this country, he would have been escorted with three wonderful people taking him around, because like he know you. With the other thing, the floodings in Guyana, our villages is being flooded. Sunday when the install done stuff came to the Amstel, they had a high mark. Well, I know what type of business the high mark do. And the entire, all the trenches were completely congested with a set of grass and all the different things that could litter the place. The waters can't pass, and we under full mosquito infestation. Now with the bus fares, I believe on the West Coast, sometime by the time you travel from Freedom to Den Amstel, you got about 3 police stops on the way. So probably the increase of the bus fares when you're coming from Freedom to Den Amstel, the price is $120, has just rose to $200. And when you speak, I spoke to a police in a white sleeve, and the police told me I must, when I come out the bus, take the bus number and go and report to that station. I think that the police hearing somebody complaining about what the buses are doing. They got the police outposts right in the new bus park. And with all they are in the new bus park, they should tell the buses, take the right fare. If it's in the night, you ain't say you ain't gonna pay, but in the day, bright day, like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, you got to double up on your fare to come to the West Coast. And I think something must be done about that. I am glad you spoke about banks because right now, the Chinese get all the items from banks. You cannot go to banks to buy anything. And with all what is going on, I am not hearing my wonderful boy, Glenn Lal, talking down on this what's going on. The part with JC, and this is zero evidence. This is a ploy to show the Africans in Guyana, just like how we went into Black African villages like Moko and all over and bulldoze the people out just to be going to our stronghold and be bulldozing the houses. So you, the Africans, cannot say that we are destroying only Africans alone. We are destroying our supporters also. So this JC breaking down houses is another election ploy to get the foolish black people to say, well, the same thing what happened to me happened to them. So we can therefore put the vote because all we are being treated equal. Wrong point. Wrong point, Africans. That is applied in JC. So that is the things. And Kadaki, I would like to say thanks for bringing out the problem with the Denamsa police and the caravan in front of the residents. You know, by the time you broadcast anything, the next day, the caravan was being removed from the place. And that is what I always got to thank your program for, only your program. Because on your program, we can come and air our problems, and it is being answered in a way faster than lightning, Bye-bye.
Thank you. The power of Camps TV, eh? It's not the power of Camps TV. It's not the power of Kiraki Amsterdam. It's the power of speaking up. Unless you speak up, nobody knows your hurts. Put them on blast. Nobody likes to be on blast. The lines remain open. 6225923 is the number to call. You tune to the Guyanese Morning Time. Like I said, Akwesi Anani. Answer the call. You put your money where the mouth there. So what y'all doing about it? Y'all put your money where your mouth there to know. That is KAMS TV. Or the Zelle 8623735187 in the name of the US donor. 11 minutes to the 9 o'clock hour. Let's talk target things. All right, let me remind you that on the 28th, the 28th, all right, we get a call. Let me take it first. Call it live. Call it, we can hardly hear you.
Oh, sorry. A blessed good morning to
You sung just now. You sung it like your wife didn't give permission for talk, so you had to be whispering.
Yes, I have to get permission.
Go ahead.
I have not been fully granted. I just sneak out this car.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I'm blessed to the Guyanese nation, those who are in and out of the diaspora. Mr. Arby Norton and Mr. Nigel Youth, they are not foolish men. They are well brilliant people. So Guyanese, they all don't panic. They already know that Mr. Arby Norton will be running as a presidential candidate for the election coming up. And they don't know if the government out support each other, they can't win the election. They already have that understanding about themselves. They are not debating who will be presidential candidate. They are already done discuss among them. Without we knowing have any say into that. Because APSA is not going to give up that. However, what they are discussing, what they want to discuss, is the position of the seats. if they win the election, they will hear about, because right now the constitution said you cannot go after the election and support each other. The decision are made before the election. So we Guyanese will always know if APNU run by this if Nigeria you want to run by itself, or if PSC run by itself, we will know long before. And both of these people know they could never win the election single time. They might more really seat in parliament of their own, but that cannot defeat the PPP wickedness. And so we got to trust God and hope that they go the right way. And Guyanese stand up and support whoever go there. We support it. We know that happening on. We're going to support that. They're going to run together. I don't fight them. They're going to run together. When they clear out them. Mr. Kadaki, God bless you. And your program is very powerful. When you open your mouth and you support us, stand by it. So don't plug yourself. You also got a big input into it. God bless you. Have a blessed day. And I want to say thanks to my wife for allowing me a couple seconds. Thank you, baby. I love you.
Thank you, caller. You see, even Camps TV, there's guy husbands to tell their wives they love them. Well, anyway, 8 minutes to the 9 o'clock. Oh, what was I about to tell you? Oh, I know what I was about to tell you about. Let me say condolences to the Springers. I understand Miss Springer is dead. Springer's from Friendship Village, east coast of Demerara, Buxton. I got away. I say when you see boxing people ready for dead, them are dead like mass production, man. And sometimes I get so fed up, I start going to funerals. Just Sunday we buried a young BUXTONIAN. The Sunday before we buried and we burying. And so I'm understanding that Miss Springer has died now. Condolences, strength to the family. Let us keep them in our prayers.
Good morning, Brother Kidaki. Pleasant good morning to you and your viewers. Brother Kidaki, the downfall of the installed ministers and installed president and racial president coming to the Namstel is because the weakness of our councillors them. From the beginning, our councillors them was in bed with the PPP for whatever the president are coming into the Namstel. If the councillors then was strong enough and meet the people them and notify the people them and ask questions about what affecting the people them in the Namstel, there was no room for the install that don't stock president run through the Namstel. Understand me? And those people where you see who went wrong here that ask questions, all of them are lazy set of people. Them are very lazy and weak. The downfall is our councillors them from the starting to the beginning. That is what Guyana did themselves all the years with our councillors them. They need to be put on a boat and sail all the way out. All the way out. They're not doing them nothing. Sail them out and bring them in back. And let me see if they're going to change them nasty ways concerning our people in our community. They're not doing nothing for the Namstel people. Our councillors them are failing the Namstel people. That's why they install so-called racial photo opportunists installed president are visiting the Namstel. That is my point, Brother Kidaki. You have a blessed day.
Thank you for your call. Your voice, no, that is. I was saying that on the 28th, yes, 28th, Camps TV get the big celebration. It's an anniversary celebration, of course. We have made it through the storms for yet another year. Give thanks. And so we are going to have our after lunch line or lunch and line starting at about 12 o'clock on the 28th. Food is on the house. I know for a fact we got some curry. I know we got some wild meat, we got fish, we got chicken, we got pork. We're going to get some cook-up, we're going to get some dal puri, some roti. Food is on the house. You spend your money at the bar, you support the bar to buy alcoholic beverages if that's your preference. Come on down, come in your numbers. We want to show them that CAMS is strong. All those of you who are overseas, I know you're overseas people got enough power, you know. Overseas people got enough power. Send a $20 to your relatives down there and say, yeah, go at the after lunch by CAMS at Club Twilight. Go and support CAMS anniversary lunch and line. We can't come, but you are our ambassadors. Go down there, let them see the numbers behind CAMS TV. So they ain't gonna think CAMS TV is no joke. Do that. In the same way, I'm encouraging you to encourage them to go out and support the protests on Tuesday. Join me on Tuesday in front of GCOM. You're making joke with Uncle Sam, the greenback, blueback, whatever you call it in money. I don't remember. But the first thing when you tell people, go, what things are doing, you're not. All right, I can send a $20 fee. All right, I can go. Yeah, I've seen that work. Fidel Albert, let's attack off and left off. Then I know PPP coming in here for say they voting for anybody dead on the list. Trust me. And as much as we allow villagers to support whichever political party they want, the PPP supporters in this village know that there's a line that they can't cross. There's a line they can't cross. Let me find any of them doing fatherland vote in this village now. Peas. Looks like peas. Yes. So support the lunch and line on the 28th. Come, let's rub shoulders. It's good enough to have the support online. It's good enough to talk online and so on. But it's even nice when we can reach each other and rub shoulders and pound flesh and so on and so forth and strengthen each other. So come on down on the 28th and support the thing. Right? Good. On the 1st of August, no, let me go to the 31st of July. The 31st of July, the Boxing 1st of August movement has its cultural evening. It has its libation ceremony. The libation ceremony will start around 5, 6 thereabout in the vicinity of the Boxing Emancipation Monument in front of the Boxing Market Company Road. Come out there and get reconnected with the ancestral spirits and, you know, the ancestral way, let me say that. And then later in the evening, we have the Black is Beautiful cultural evening on the Boxing Line Top. Come out. That will start around 7, 8 o'clock. Yoruba Singers is on stage this year again. Young Bill Rogers is on stage. Michael Spence is on stage. A lot of folks, a lot of popular name, big names will be on stage. So you're gonna get them, you're gonna get to see them free. And don't forget, starting last year, we started doing the Granny Home Style Mixed Meat Cook-Up. So start setting aside your money to get your Granny Home Style Mixed Meat Cook-Up. I will tell you the color of the tent you're going to this year at a later date. But Granny Home Style Mixed Meat Cook-Up is going to be right out there this year also. Right? I know many of you enjoyed it last year, and many of you were disappointed because when you turn up the party empty. So you could pre-order, right? You could pre-order. Good. I don't understand this. Who is our battalion? Asking if I'm a tough guy. Who is our battalion? How about you know me? Help me to know you so I can respond in kind. Okay. So I get your drift, Robert. And guess what? You're not going to get the opportunity again. Goodbye. You want to know if I'm a tough guy? I can send you at places you can find out, people you can ask. But take the time off of Cam's TV and do your research. User has been banned and comments removed. Oh, hey, the thing feel nice, you know. I gotta do the thing more often, right? So on the 31st, that's what we're dealing with. On the 1st of August, we have the Boxing 1st of August movement again. It's collaborating with Camps TV and Club Twilight and so on. And we're doing the Elders Soiree. Elders Soiree. You always hear about soiree and soiree and soiree, soiree. Only young people just go to soiree and so. Well, we're doing the Elders Soiree this year at Club Twilight. Admission is totally free. The elders will get to come and wine and dine totally free. Refreshments are going to be on fleek for the elders. Bring them up. On the 1st of August. Bring them up. It's usually a BUXTONIAN thing, but it's being announced on social media, so obviously we can't turn back anybody. We can't turn away anybody. So it's the Elders Soiree at Club Twilight on the 1st of August. Big free up. One man band in the house. In fact, let me tell you specifically, Super Cat is going to be in the house on the 1st. So on the 31st, everybody whosoever will may come on Buxton Line Club with Yoruba singers. On the 1st, the elders at Club Twilight with Super Cat one man band. Let me go. I don't know how many persons we catering for. I know we cooking. We get what does call them bagwat. Once you come, you're gonna be eating. Likewise, on the 28th of this month, at Cam's anniversary, once you come, you're gonna eat. Trust me. Club Twilight got a big kitchen, and say if we're monitoring the food and they're getting a little bit, we're gonna just cook more. Right? You can just cook more. Sean Anthony Ben, you and Colin Barnwell, you all stop fighting, man. This is not the time to fight. This is the time for us to hug up and love up and go to the polls together. You all stop this thing. It's 3 minutes after 9 o'clock. I'm taking a call.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
A blessed good morning to Guyana and the rest of the world. Mr. Kadaki, again, Mr. David Hines last night had a program. I had a wonderful rest last night when I finished listening to Mr. David Hines last night. Well put together. And again, what you doing this morning, you're enlightening us on no certain things. What's up? And I say again, gentlemen, ladies, supporters, whosoever like David Hines, whosoever like Nigel Hughes, whosoever like Bobby Norton, don't really make it an issue. They will come out with this childish attitude and support the benefit for our future generation. Let me forget about who must vote for who must like who must hate who. I'm pretty sure that the real again, I'm saying this thing to us. Support anyone out of the three or anyone of the 5 or 6 whatever they got. The duty is to make sure that the PPP go. That's too dangerous. Guyanese and the sun will go on around us. Just because the people get a little stuff on the side, a little money they're making, they forget the roots. I can remember them you went to videos of a village, an Indian village, and people run away from you. Remember that?
Yes.
They run away from you, they want to talk to you. And the road bad, you know. I saw that a couple of years ago, I know for the last year, for the last. People run away from you, want to talk to you, you know why? Even though you're doing this is to represent them
Then we want the people to see that they're talking to you. Understand what goes on, buddy? But what we doing? We hugging up people persons. When we learn and understand that people love themselves, we will understand that we are the person to step and the pressure for no reason at all. We are the most blessed people in this world. We are the most skillful people in this world in every area. But because of our mindset, the way we think, we left in the position we left in. The way we could think as human, as Africans, and we think in a race, we be a better human. And people will respect us. I will tell you, like you, I will broken down new place, bulldogs on new place, like anything. You like them bad, and then say, what you do? I've been there for 3 years. After 23 years of disaster, the whole system corrupt. Could you, Mr. Gaddafi, change the system within 3 years or 4 years? Tell me, impossible. You know what's going on now? They're begging people. We want nobody with no security, like no vehicle, unless it's this. Who created the monster? People everywhere, and them blue light and them green light on the road in the night, they can't see and driving when you're riding. Who's selling these things? Me and you. Who's people selling these lights, these artificial lights that are killing you up on the road? Who's selling you this morning? Who bring in the vehicle and cut them and then put them back and sell you? It's me and you. You got to get real. All I'm saying to you, Mr. Kodaki, if I could go in power as a coalition party and I do stupidness and you choose not to go for me, not the problem. But what I'm saying to you again, my brothers, let me put our shoulders to the way for the benefits of our great grandchildren them. Because when we die and gone as seniors, they don't let us suffer because they don't know nothing, because they're going with the flow. And the flow is disaster. We like a man with the president and he can produce a certificate for showing that we pass. And if you go and you got produce what you got, oh my God, Mr. Kodaki, man doesn't understand where we going. The people want to dominate, they want to control everything. People put the system to control everything. What you doing to the police force? What you doing to the army? Everything is corruption. What we want to see, we want to feel. What we want to see, hear, or feel, gentlemen. Again, before I'm leaving, gentlemen and lady, let me forget about this division, who, and we put shoulders to meet and get it for the bus. And our great grandchildren coming up. Mr. Laki, have a blessed day. Again, God bless you and your family. Stay safe and continue doing the good works.
Thank you, caller. I'll have a good day. It's with a face you see alien now. Miranda Brown. If you're dunce at the beginning of your career as president, you have the access to resources to improve your learning. And so if you're not doing that, then we will continue to talk about your dunceness. Understand that. Unless you dunce enough not to understand that, then I can't help you. Why do you think the coalition they set up night schools? Because they realized that a lot of our young people are leaving school ill-qualified to get meaningful jobs and so on. And they set up night schools so that those people can, even if they're working in the day, go to schools at night so they improve their learning. The same goes to Ali. Even if he is the president, he has access to more resources financially and human to do some night classes in the privacy of his home or even his office to improve his learning. In Buxton, we had what we call a lessons place, and we found adult villagers who couldn't read and write and so on, and they had an interest in learning how to read and write and so. And they approached us, We used to sneak them through the back door or the lessons place, and we had a room at the back there that they used to sit in and learn quietly. And nobody knew that that is what they were coming in there for. And he got the whole government. He could choose any ministry for going to sit down in. He got a whole state house. He could choose any room to sit in. And have somebody come and chew to him. Whether it's on international relations, whether it's on human relations, whether it's on labor, whatever it is. People who did the work to get their postgraduate certificates don't need night schools. But people who get it through fraudulent means certainly need night schools to come up to par so that they can represent that postgrad. Ali can't represent no postgrad. Ali never do no work for get postgrad. Who gets a postgrad after attending a non-existent university? Man, Miranda, you see why it has got to get disrespectful according to you? I'll have a good day. Goodbye. Let me leave in peace. I came in peace. I love you all. Every single one of you. Regardless of who political party you're supporting, I love you. Just remember, man is just a man. Be fair to your fellow human beings. Right? Be very fair to your fellow human beings, and we're going to be great friends. I will have more respect for you. But once you're making sense and you are unfair to mankind and you're an advantage taker, we're going to be anywhere apart all the time. Have a good one. Y'all stay in peace. People, I've given you the information. Act on it. Let's get busy. Bye-bye.